see how beautiful this area is. It's an amazing area. The whole of the Wollondilly electorate is beautiful like this. And it might be a beautiful area, but it has some beautiful housing coming, but for many years we've actually not received any infrastructure of any significance. And I'm going to read a little bit of a speech so I don't miss anything. This is such an exciting occasion, I could miss a whole lot of things. I don't know whether people realise, but this is going to be the second high school in the Wollondilly Shire and the third high school, and it's preschool, primary and high school. But the high school, the last time we got a high school was in 1958 at Picton, and before that was in 1930 at Bowral. So,
hey. Go Judy.
It's going to be co-located with a new primary school at this address, and I believe the mound over there is probably where the high school will happen. And what I want to do is thank the government for listening to my concerns, because we've seen over, people are saying 20, 30 years, the promises that have been made about getting a high school for us. And it's gone on, and everybody promises at each election that they're going to deliver a high school. The government have listened, your advocacy has paid off, and I am so thrilled to be able to represent you with a government that's listening, that is actually delivering. You will see students in these schools by 2027, and that's amazing. We not only need it, we deserve it. The Wollondilly electorate has been, missing out for a long time, and I did a few facts this morning, and if our high school students spend an hour in the bus or the car each day going to and from high school, they actually lose 200 days of sunshine and family time just travelling to high school. It also means they don't get to spend time with their friends and playing sport in their area. So this is incredible. I'd like to thank everybody, the community, but I have here, the Deputy Premier, Prue Carr, who's the Minister for Education, who's had meetings with us, and any time we've asked for the meetings, she's been available, and therefore she's delivering. And I also have Melinda, who's the, Director of Education, that covers nearly all of my electorate, and anytime we have an issue, she's also there. So the hugest thank you to Prue, and I'm going to ask her to address you, but I kind of feel like doing a Toyota jump at this point. It's just so exciting for the people of Wollondilly electorate. So Prue, over to you.
Thanks, Judy. Judy is absolutely tireless for Wollondilly, and there is no way that as a government we were going to get away with not delivering this primary school and a high school. And I know why the people of this community elected her. That's very clear, and she is more than delivering in spades, because she just did not rest with both the Premier and myself about getting this sorted. And what I'm about to announce today is actually something that will be, it's not an election commitment, it's actually something that will be budgeted for and delivered within this term of government. So you'll be able to see it happen before this term of Parliament is out. It's not just an election commitment. I want to make that really clear, because that's really, really important. Look, every child in New South Wales deserves access to public education. Every child in New South Wales deserves to go to their local public primary and high school. And I was pretty sympathetic to what Judy was saying on behalf of this community, because I also come from a part of Sydney, in northwestern Sydney, where we also didn't have primary and high schools built for years and years, while thousands of people moved in and built homes. So when driving here into this beautiful community, I could understand what was going on here. It's not good enough that schools and roads and public transport were not built for communities like this. It's just not good enough. So we're announcing today that this government, by 2027, you will have a preschool and a primary school and the first cohort of kids to go through a high school at Wilton, finally. The primary school detailed designs and plans will be open to public exhibition next week. There'll be a community information session next week for people to start contributing, the community to start contributing about the shape that the primary school takes with a co-located public preschool. That means we're talking about public preschool to year 12 for families in Wilton. And because of this announcement that finally a government is actually coming up and committing to a high school in Wilton, we now start the work on that in terms of ensuring we have the site ready. We'll start to go out with plans as they progress for the high school. The primary school is further along, but the high school, the first cohort of young people, will walk through those doors in 2027. What those cohorts will look like, we'll work with the local community on what the need is, but our commitment clearly is that by 2027, the first children will walk through the doors of a high school at Wilton. It is long, long overdue. Opening those doors by 2027 is as fast as it possibly humanly can be done. This is a priority for our government. You're hearing it straight from us. It is the basic of what local families deserve, to be able to put your children in their local public primary and high school. Can I just say also, the benefits of having sites that will be public preschool and primary school and then high school nearby is so important educationally for your children. We all know, those of us that have had young kids, those transition points can be really difficult for young kids from preschool to kindergarten, from year 6 to year 7. But this means that those transition points will be easier on families and our young people. The preschoolers will see what's happening in the primary school. They'll be able to get to know the staff, the bigger kids, have a buddy system probably with the other older kids in primary school. And then similarly, as they make that transition from year 6 to year 7. So not only is it excellent in terms of convenience-wise for hard-working families, and I know how hard you must be working to afford these mortgages here in these beautiful suburbs, but it also, I truly believe, based on the very best educational advice, will be great for your children's education, because the transition will mean that those points will be easier so they can realise their true potential. So I just want to say thank you to this community for firstly electing Judy Hannon to fight for this, and to Judy for being tireless in every meeting with Chris Minns and I talking about this. I know that the next meeting I have with Judy will be like, now what's happening with the high school? So we will keep on top of it, which is fine. That's good. That's democracy. That's what local members are supposed to do, and ministers are supposed to listen to local members regardless of where they sit in the chamber. And this is really excellent, I think, that an independent member has been able to get this out of a government, a Labor government. So look, it's actually government's doing what they're supposed to do. You pay your taxes, we're going to give you your schools that you've always deserved, and I'm really looking forward to working with this community to make sure these schools are what you always needed, and I can't wait to see these little people walk through the doors. Thanks so much.
As a local teacher, I taught in the Wallandilly community for quite a number of years, and now as the Director of Educational Leadership that oversees the Wilton community, I too am so excited to hear the announcement that there will be new schools in this area. What I'm most impressed by is the forward-thinking approach that's been applied in this instance. We're not waiting for the pressure to mount, and we're really putting families first to ensure that we're meeting local needs. I've had many parents contact me over the years concerned about the length of time that their children are spending on buses being transported to and from school. So it's great news, and I know that this school, both preschool, primary and high school, are going to make a lasting impact for generations to come. So thank you all for the work that you've done, and thank you to the community. I know sometimes you feel that your voice isn't heard, but it's absolutely been heard, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this process. Thank you.